The day began with a sky so clear and blue it seemed endless, stretching over the quiet rural landscape like a gentle promise. The air was still, the fields basking in the soft morning light, and everything felt calm, almost suspended in time. But as the hours passed, a subtle shift crept in. The blue faded, replaced by a dramatic swirl of dark, churning clouds that gathered on the horizon, rolling in with a sense of urgency and purpose. Erin Kinsey stood on her porch, her eyes fixed on the sky as the first hints of the storm approached. She could feel the electric charge in the air, a tingling energy that danced along her skin and made her heart beat a little faster. The wind began to pick up, rustling through the trees and carrying with it the unmistakable scent of rain. It was a scent that spoke of change, of something wild and unpredictable on the way. The promise of adventure seemed to ride on every gust. Birds that had been singing moments before fell silent, their songs replaced by an expectant hush. Some took flight, darting for shelter, while others perched motionless, as if the world itself was pausing, holding its breath in anticipation of what was to come. Erin's heart raced, not with fear, but with a growing excitement. She had always loved storms, the way they transformed the ordinary into something extraordinary, filling the air with wild energy and possibility. To her, storms were never something to dread. They were a spectacle, a show put on by nature itself, and she relished every moment: the wind, the rain, the thunder, and the lightning. Lightning flashed in the distance, illuminating the fields in brief, brilliant bursts. Thunder rumbled low and deep, a sound that seemed to vibrate through the ground and into her bones. For Erin, this wasn't a warning to hide or run for cover. It was an invitation, a call to witness the raw, untamed power of nature up close, to stand in awe of something so much bigger than herself. She smiled, feeling a sense of connection to the world around her, ready to embrace whatever the storm might bring. With one last look at the churning sky, Erin turned and stepped inside, her mind already racing with plans and preparations. She knew that every storm brought its own story, its own adventure. The adventure was calling her name, louder and clearer with every roll of thunder and flash of lightning. Erin Kinsey was more than ready to answer, her spirit as wild and unyielding as the storm itself. Erin dashed inside, her mind racing through her storm checklist. She pulled on her bright yellow raincoat, her adventure uniform. Waterproof boots came next, perfect for muddy ground. She grabbed her heavy-duty flashlight, testing its beam. Her phone, fully charged and sealed in a plastic bag, was tucked away. Safety first. She planned to stick to familiar paths, far from tall trees. Erin checked her gear, feeling a mix of nerves and excitement. She opened the door, ready to step into the wild. The storm was here, and she was prepared. The adventure was officially beginning. Erin stepped onto the porch, the old wooden boards creaking beneath her feet as she pushed open the screen door. The air outside was electric, charged with the promise of something wild and unpredictable. She paused for a moment, letting the cool, damp breeze brush against her face, and took in the scene before her. The world she knew had been utterly transformed. The familiar garden was now a blur of motion and colour, the flowers bowing under the weight of the rain, the grass shimmering with each new drop. The sky, once bright and clear, had become a swirling canvas of deep greys and moody blues, painting everything in a mysterious new light. The air was thick and heavy, almost humming with anticipation. The wind whipped through the trees, sending leaves tumbling and branches swaying in a wild, unpredictable dance. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rumbled, a low rolling sound that seemed to vibrate through the very ground beneath her feet. Fat raindrops began to fall, each one a herald of the coming deluge. Erin grinned, holding out her hand to catch the rain, feeling the cool splash against her skin. The sensation was exhilarating, a reminder of how alive the world could feel in moments like this. Suddenly, lightning flashed, a silent, brilliant vein across the sky, illuminating the clouds in a burst of white light. Erin instinctively began to count the seconds, her heart racing with excitement. When the thunder finally answered, it was a deep, resonant boom that seemed to shake the very air around her. The storm's language was thrilling, not frightening. Every gust of wind, every drop of rain, Every distant rumble of thunder heightened her senses and made her feel more present than ever. It was as if the storm was speaking directly to her, inviting her to join in its wild celebration. The world was a masterpiece of swirling greys and blues, a living painting in constant motion. Erin pulled up her hood, feeling her heart pound with anticipation and joy. She knew that moments like these were rare, a perfect blend of chaos and beauty, fear and excitement. With a deep breath, she stepped off the porch and into the rain, her adventure truly underway. The storm was building, growing more powerful with every passing second, and Erin was ready to meet it head-on. This was her favorite kind of wild, the kind that made her feel alive, brave, and utterly free. Rain drummed on Erin's hood as she walked the gravel path. She spun in the rain, arms outstretched, feeling pure joy. Lightning forked across the sky, illuminating the world in a flash. Thunder boomed, vibrating through her chest. Erin whooped with delight, shining her flashlight into the rain. Droplets sparkled like falling diamonds in her beam. Every puddle reflected the storm's wild light show. She explored with curiosity, not fear, respecting her limits. The storm's roar drowned out all worries. Erin felt alive, part of nature's wild dance. True adventure means smart exploration, not recklessness. Erin stayed on safe, open paths, away from tall trees and metal. Her flashlight cut through the dim, revealing puddles and rocks. She scanned her surroundings, alert and aware. Listening to thunder, watching lightning, she gauged the storm's intensity. If it grew too fierce, she'd head home. Flexibility was key. Erin moved quietly, a respectful guest in the storm's world. Her joy came from presence, not risk. Safety let her fully enjoy the wild spectacle. Adventure and caution walked hand in hand. The storm was a symphony, rain drumming, wind howling, thunder booming. Lightning painted the sky, each flash a work of art. The world was transformed, colours muted, shadows deep. Erin used her flashlight to create her own light show, tracing puddles and rain. She became part of the spectacle, painting with light amid nature's display. The sensory overload was exhilarating: sound, light, wind, and rain. Erin felt awe at the storm's power and beauty. She was fully present, mind clear, heart grateful. The storm was wild, untamed, and breathtaking. Erin soaked in every moment, inspired by nature's performance. This was pure, joyful connection. As the storm softened and the last rumbles of thunder faded into the distance, Erin made her way home, her steps slow and thoughtful. The world around her glistened with fresh rain, every surface shining as if newly born. She felt a deep sense of satisfaction, a quiet peace settling over her as she walked through the familiar streets, now transformed by the storm's passing. The air was cool and clean, filled with the scent of wet earth and blooming flowers, and Erin breathed it in deeply, grateful for the calm after the chaos. The rain eased, and the thunder faded away, leaving behind a world that felt utterly renewed. Puddles reflected the clearing sky, and the countryside seemed to glow with a gentle golden light. The storm had washed everything clean, and Erin felt as if she too had been refreshed, her worries rinsed away, her spirit lighter. Once inside, she shed her wet gear, hanging her raincoat and boots by the door. Warmth spread through her as she changed into dry clothes, a sense of pride blooming in her chest. She had faced the storm head-on, prepared and resilient, and now she could truly appreciate the comfort of home. Erin hadn't conquered the storm. She'd embraced it, meeting its power with respect and careful preparation. Standing by the window, she watched the last clouds drift away, feeling a quiet connection to the wildness outside. The storm had been a challenge, but also a reminder of nature's beauty and unpredictability. With a hot cup of tea warming her hands, Erin settled by the window. She watched the final raindrops trace patterns down the glass, the world outside slowly brightening. The cozy comfort of her home felt even sweeter after the wildness of the storm, and she savoured the moment, letting her mind wander. The sky began to brighten, hints of gold and pink breaking through the thinning clouds. Sunlight spilled across the landscape, painting everything with a soft, hopeful glow. It was as if the world was waking up anew, full of promise and possibility. Inspiration surged within her. She felt an urge to write, to draw, to capture the beauty and drama she had just witnessed. The storm had sparked her creativity, filling her with ideas and energy. Erin opened her notebook, eager to let her thoughts and feelings flow onto the page. Nature was her muse, and adventure her fuel. The world outside, still glistening from the rain, called to her with the promise of new discoveries. Erin knew that every storm brought its own lessons, and she was ready to seek them out, to explore and grow with each new experience. Erin felt brave, alive, and more connected to herself and the world than ever before. The challenges she had faced had only made her stronger, and she looked forward to whatever adventures lay ahead, confident in her ability to weather any storm. The storm had passed, but its energy lingered in her heart, a reminder of resilience, inspiration, and the beauty that follows even the wildest weather.